So I just keep things orderly. I think I sent out a note, and just for questions and for vote, for questions, if you could just kind of just pop your name in there and just tell me that you have a question, and then we'll get you in the queue. We'll definitely get you heard. And for the vote, we'll just do in person, and then we'll just go one by one down the list. So starting out, the minutes from the August 17th meeting. Did everyone get it? Ask the question a different way. Does anyone have any corrections to the minutes that were distributed? Is Jen on the phone?
No.
No. All right. We got Jen.
I made her change, yeah.
Okay. Hearing no corrections, the minutes are approved. We did not have any public input.
Nope.
All right. It'll be a nice quick meeting. All right. So next up, new business. A proposal from a resident of Fairfield presented by our director, Anthony Calabrese, to rename the Sherman Green Gazebo the Kenneth Darling Gazebo at the Sherman Green.
Yep. So just a little background. I did email the full commission, or Kelly emailed the full commission, an article from 2010 when we had the 25th anniversary rededication of the Sherman Green Gazebo back in 2010. And there was a pretty decent write-up about Mr. Darling and his history with the gazebo and how he envisioned having a gazebo in a community gathering place on the green here in town. And we've had, over the years, before 2010 and 2010 till now, we've had numerous residents come to us and ask, please name the gazebo after Mr. Darling. For those of you who don't know, 1985, the gazebo was installed on the Sherman Green. It's been there ever since, so 37 or so years, I believe. Ken Darling was on the Parks Commission back in the 80s for a number of years, and then from 85 on to about 2015, 2016, he scheduled every one of our concerts on the Sherman Green. That was what he did. He volunteered his time. He got a small stipend to do it. He attended every one of those concerts. Rain or shine, he was on the green at all times. So he is still around. We do occasionally see him. I believe his health is declining. He's probably in his mid-90s at this point.
He's still a resident?
But he is still, he's still here. So it was just recently brought up to me. I had a couple conversations with the First Selectwoman's office. She fully supports this. So in the typical protocol, when we've only had a few namings since I've been here, but the way that it goes is I would bring it to the commission like this, ask for your recommendation to the Board of Selectmen to name the gazebo after Ken Darling, and then they would put it on their agenda, and then they would vote on it, and then it would take place. If they approve it, then we would do some kind of ceremony and make a big thing out of it, which would be fun.
So even though the Sherman Green is under our purview, the ultimate decision goes to the Board of Selectmen?
Yep, Board of Selectmen get they have the only ones who can do the naming. Yep.
All right. Commission members here, any questions?
No. A great honor. Sounds like a great man.
Anyone on the phone have any questions?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So this is Dylan O'Connor. How long is this, are we planning on having it named after Mr. Darling? Is there a time limit on?
No, there's no time limit specified in any of the town documents to my knowledge.
Okay. So in other words, if we pass this and it's the Darling Gazebo, then that's what it's going to be known as in perpetuity.
Unless it's changed by the Board of Selectmen, yes.
Okay.
This is Jamie. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jamie. I'll go after you.
No. I was just introducing myself to make sure people knew I was on the meeting and that I didn't
Oh.
have a question.
All right, Jamie,
Okay.
welcome. So, anyone else?
Yeah, I
We
have a question.
have Jamie and Bridget also on the line. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Bridget. Anthony, will there'll be a plaque of some sort on the gazebo itself?
We may put a plaque on the gazebo, or we may put. There's already a stone there that it has a plaque on it that mentions all the people that put work into the gazebo and the volunteers. That I'd have to work that out to see what's going to fit best with the gazebo. But I'm envisioning a sign kind of built onto the front of the gazebo, like above it.
Yeah, I think that would look good. And then the only other thing is kind of like a silly question, but just if people, his friends and family, and just people were curious about the gazebo, would there be something that ultimately could be done with Google, so it could be searchable, or it would show up in like a Google Map situation or Google Earth?
Yeah, it will.
Okay.
It will. Once we change it on our website, it typically gets picked up in a couple days.
Oh, cool. Okay, thanks.
Yes, Chris.
So if we make the recommendation to the selectman's office, who ultimately decides on the signage?
So I will.
You will.
Yeah.
Just pure curiosity. St. Joe's High School football field, Donley
Oh.
Field, is there a connection there, or is it just
I'm not sure.
coincidental?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know.
I assume that St. Joe's football field was named Doling after a lot of money was contributed by the Doling family.
I don't know if there's any connection.
Because that's a nice church.
Yeah, give me your homework.
Well, because I recognize I started here, and then I Googled St. Joe's.
Yeah. I went to St. Joe's football family. Okay. So do we have a motion to accept?
I will make a motion to accept.
And do we have a second?
I will second.
Bridget, was that Bridget? Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion or questions? Okay, commission in attendance, all those in favor? Okay, and Jamie?
Aye.
Bridget?
Yes.
Dylan?
Yes.
David, you're not on the phone, are you? And Jen, are you with us now? Okay, well, that's enough. It's approved.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next up, Cynthia Seawright.
That's me.
All right. Proposal to hold a breast cancer fundraiser, Full Moon Beach Walk, on Sunday, October 9th, 2022, 6 to 8 p.m.
Yes.
If you would, present your name and address for the record.
It's Cynthia Seawright, 76 Orchard Hill Drive, Fairfield. Thank you. So,
Tell us about
I
it.
have been a resident for 32 years. I've never put any kind of fundraiser together and felt like it would be a nice opportunity. The full moon, I noticed a lot of people come out in the summer, but October's still fairly warm. So I thought American Cancer Society, we work with making strides against breast cancer. And I thought something like that would be lovely to do. It's like a 45-minute fun walk from Jennings, Penfield, back to Jennings. Easy for people, and that we might do something with a ceremony with maybe those little LED kind of tea lights, keep it safe. Simple, nothing, overly complicated. I would request that dogs stay home just so that it's a little bit safer for everybody. that's kind of the scope of it. Pretty straightforward.
All right, and there won't be any of those lanterns that you set off?
No. Nothing.
And dogs could be there, apart from.
I know, and horses, I understand too.
Unlikely 6 to 8 p.m. in October, but.
Exactly. Yeah. So I did have a few questions about the logistics and production. I don't know if now would be the time to discuss those things.
Can you hold off a minute? Can we ask some questions first? And and then we'll see if anyone has questions.
Okay.
Talk a little bit more about it. Then we'll, if someone makes a motion to approve and we approve it, then it's a good time to talk about the logistics.
Okay. I have some ideas that maybe would complicate things, so should I say them now or should I wait?
That you may want to add now.
Okay. So I thought it would be very nice at Jennings at the end of the walk to have a bonfire. But I know it's past the kind of bonfire permitting window. Mm-hmm. But that was one thought that I had, because everybody walked up and there could be some sort of ceremony for those that were walking in honor of. So maybe that could be, allowed. So that was one question. And the other thing, I guess a mini horse is still allowed. If horses are allowed. A friend has a little horse that I thought would be cute for the kids to sort of take their picture with, and he's small, so like really big. So those two things were the kind of beyond human beings walking on the beach, the two sort of added items that might make it a little bit more interesting for people.
Okay, we'll get back to them.
Okay.
Mini horse, probably not a big deal. Bonfire, we can talk about that. That may be an issue. The last bonfire,
September 30th.
September 30th. Okay. I'm sorry, McKay, you have a question?
I just wanted to clarify. We don't have any paper on this event other than what's on the
I did not see any paper.
No, there was. I can make copies for everyone. In here.
That wasn't attached to any email, was it?
No.
Yeah, it was all part of the agenda. I scanned the whole thing.
No, we didn't get it. That's why I was curious. I wrote back yesterday.
I thought you were talking about the selling one. Let me just go and make copies real quick.
Okay. What's that?
Can I ask my question?
Yeah, of course.
How many attendees are you anticipating?
I mean, this was a late-breaking idea, so I would hope I can get to like 100.
Okay.
But
are you going to have
helpers?
Food and beverage, or?
I have not planned for that. I was going to see if maybe a pizza truck could be in the parking lot, but it wouldn't really have anything to do with me.
Okay.
I'm not going to be selling food or beverages.
No catering.
No catering, no alcohol. It's a Sunday night. The moon comes up at 6:30. 13 minutes between the two pavilions, maybe 20 in the sand. It's low tide. The tide is at its lowest point at 5:37 that night, so it'll still be low and the sand will be firm. So I don't anticipate people are going to take that long to go between the two pavilions. But I thought it would be nice to have a food truck in the parking lot in case somebody wants a slice of pizza. One food truck, not 20. Yep. I just want to keep it simple this year because it is a late-breaking idea. I don't want to make it too complicated for anyone, including myself. But I wanted to get it going, and maybe next year, if it goes off okay and everybody is okay with it, then maybe next year it could be a little bit more layered.
Got it. Thank you.
That's a start with it.
How are you going to be doing the fundraising?
Through the American Cancer Society, directly through the American Cancer Society.
So you're going to have registration?
Yes.
For anyone who's going to attend?
Absolutely, yes. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer has teams, and I have set up a team with the idea that, this might get approved. So it will be directly, all the funds are collected by the American Cancer Society through their website.
If you wouldn't mind, Kelly, do you have this emailable to the other people? Because I know I did not see that.
Yeah, it looks like I think you just, for whatever reason, just that first page got scanned.
Oh.
So just on your list of questions that you had for ideas, I think the bonfire, again, I'll let these guys decide, but typically we don't allow the bonfires into October because the animals are on the beach and the hot coals and whatnot. So that's what that is. From 6 to 8, I don't see that there would be an issue with any of the music, especially on the beach. So I think you're okay there. Food truck, it wouldn't be an issue because the concession is closed for the season, so you're good there. And the bathrooms will theoretically still be open at that point. They don't close them down, I think, until mid-October. So.
And at that time of night they'd be open?
Yep, they're open till 11. They're on timers.
In both pavilions?
Yeah, they're on timers.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and I agree with bonfires and wouldn't want to make any exceptions at this point.
I love the mini horse.
I like the playlist.
I mean, once I got going on that playlist, it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up one thing about accessibility. I noticed that Jennings seems to have, and I know that you're experts at this, I'm certainly not. They seem to have like ramps in that would be easy if somebody was on a walker or, less stable on their feet. I'd like it to be something that, a lot of people could come to. And I noticed that Jennings has those sort of walkways out into the stands.
Those aren't there anymore.
Oh,
those get taken down right after Labor Day.
Okay.
Same at Penfield.
Okay.
So that would be a slight issue.
But they can still stay
on the deck area.
Yeah, on the deck.
And there's ramps to get up on there.
I don't know how many people.
Yep.
But I just would like it to be thought out a little for everybody.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions? Anyone on the phone have any questions?
No.
I heard one note, but I guess it goes for everyone.
Okay. No questions for me, Brian.
All right, thank you. All right then, since there's no questions, does anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a move to approve the event.
Okay.
Without the bonfire.
Okay. And that's not part of the request, so we don't have to, list that. All right, so we have a motion to approve as requested, and of course it's specifically without the bonfire, in case those on the phone did not hear that. Any further questions or comments? All right.
Good luck.
What's it?
Good luck.
Yeah. What?
I'll second.
I think you already did.
I did. I didn't know if you heard me though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So next.
I hate these meetings. This is the people here. All right. So all those in attendance, in favor? Okay. Jamie?
Yes.
Bridget?
Yes.
Dylan?
Yes.
And has Jen joined us?
No.
All right. Okay, so now you can coordinate on the logistics. But
Okay.
it's approved.
Thank you.
No bonfire.
Got it.
You can bring in mini horse.
Got it.
And we're okay with the pizza truck.
Okay.
Bathroom
chapters are open.
Yep.
Is there an exterior electrical
Yep.
outlet? Okay.
Yep,
and
can't miss it. It's right there. Yep.
At both pavilions.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any other events happening at any of the pavilions or Jackie Durrell that night?
Penfield probably has an event.
Penfield.
And
When you tomorrow or whenever you coordinate with Kelly, she'll put you in touch with Galen, and the two of you can work out that. But it probably won't interfere even if there is an event at Penfield.
Okay.
It should be okay.
I want to be in someone's wedding.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. You don't have a horse in the race about where we start, if we started either or go back? Okay. I wanted to know about the events for parking.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. We talked about CJ. Is it okay if I go and do a test run prior or something? And what about a production contact person the night of the event?
It's going to be Kelly for now, and then she'll put you in touch with Galen.
Yeah, and all the other questions that you have, you can be in touch with Kelly tomorrow, and she could really walk through everything.
Okay. There's a special event fee for this.
$400 fee.
Is it possible that since it's a breast cancer fundraiser that the fee might be waived?
That wasn't requested in the motion, but I can tell you my opinion is that if it was part of the request, more than likely it would not have been approved, because the majority of all of our events are for 501c3, and we really try not to waive the fees. It's unfortunate that we have to do this, but
well, I mean, you have.
It's very much a domino right now.
No, I do understand that. Okay. I don't really have any other questions.
All right, you have my number. Give me a call in the morning, and then I can let you know what events are going on and get you Galen's contact and go from there.
All right. Well, thank you for your time and for your approval. Sure. I appreciate it. Well, I hope you'll all come. Now that I have all your names.
Yeah. And hopefully it doesn't rain that night, because we don't have a rain date here. All right. So Jen is not still, so there's no Board of Ed report. So now it's you. Director's report. Everybody should have received a copy this morning. Hopefully you actually got that. No? I did. Okay. All right. At least you got that. All right. That one I saw. All right. No worries. I have some questions. Yeah. No worries. So we're in the middle of our fall-winter programming right now. Our summer stuff is all ended at this point. We've got a variety of different programs taking place, everything from arts and crafts classes in here to our youth soccer that's taking place right now as well. We do have our big, it's not this Friday, I wrote the wrong date because I got all excited about the Glow on the Green. It's actually next Friday, so disregard that typo in there. Next Friday is the Glow on the Green at Smith Richardson. There is still space available to try to hit the hole-in-one for the $10,000 prize. That's not on a par 3. That's in the middle of the fairway? It's in the middle of the fairway. We hit from the 10th fairway to the 18th green. It's about 135 yards. From the 10th fairway to the 18th green. Okay. Yeah, 135 yards on the 18th puts you down that little gully, and you can't see the flag. It's just too crazy of a shot. But aren't there trees from the 10th? It's clear. Okay. It's clear. Yeah, we pays the $10,000. The insurance company. That's what I was. Yeah, so we did this event last year for the first time when we opened a new clubhouse, and it was sold out in minutes. It was a great event, great night. I think we had 3 people out of like 150 hit the green. It was a pretty good odds for the insurance company. But given what you pay for the insurance, the insurance company doesn't charge too much. No. You got a mulligan? No mulligan. You get one shot. The balls glow. It's a lot of fun, and we've got live music there. Boca does appetizers. It's a good night. So that's what we've got going on programming-wise. Our parks team is still working on all our facilities. Right now they just stripped Upper Tunxus for Fairfield National, where Fairfield National plays.
They stripped the infield there, and they're rebuilding that infield. I was up there this afternoon. It looks gorgeous. It's the exact same thing that we did to Mill Hill last fall. That field still looks gorgeous. The Two Gould Manors look gorgeous. I think we're now that we had that break in the weather and got a couple of rainy days, things are starting to green back up. Where we have irrigation, those fields are in good shape. The ones that we don't have irrigation, are going to take some time to get back to where they should be, but we're moving in the right direction. Beaches, I believe, are being combed for one more week. We did have a lot of people on the beach today because of the nice weather. So yeah, if you're going to go out there, the beach hopefully is nice and clean. And then we just talked about how the dogs and the horses can start going on the beaches as of October 1st. So that's just our annual reminder on that. We're going to be beginning our budget process. We've had some conversations with the first selectwoman. I listened into the Board of Finance last night, and they pushed back the budget process. We used to start it in October, and then I'd bring the budgets to you guys for approval in November, sometimes December. It seems like we're not going to start the budget process until December, which means you guys won't see the budget until probably January, and the first selectwoman will present it in February to the other bodies. We are working on what we used to call the waterfall chart, where basically the next 5 to 7 years or so worth of projects that we present to the Board of Finance. They would have held their capital planning workshop last night in September like they normally do. They haven't done that in the last couple of years. First Selectwoman is trying to streamline the process and put together a small working group for the capital project. So all the department heads are doing the exact same thing we've always done, giving all the projects we have coming up, except this group, which is comprised of 2 Board of Ed members, 2 Board of Finance, 2 from the Board of Selectmen, and 2 from the RTM. They'll decide, these are where these projects are going to fall, how many for the Board of Ed, how many for the town over the next 5 years or so, and then that'll go to the Board of Finance for approval, and then through the RTM. And then we just present those projects like we normally would. Some of the things that I included on there were all the things that have been on there in the past. As far as I think we had the Sullivan Field, turf field is on there. The Fairfield Woods tennis court rebuild is on there. I included all the other playgrounds. I think we had another 8 or 10 playgrounds that still need to be replaced because, again, they're about 20 to 25 years old. So I included those, basically 2 per year, to see if those would hopefully get through. Galen's been working on a project for the past year about putting parking kiosks down at the beach. That's a bigger conversation, but we put it on the waterfall chart so we can at least get the funding for it. But that would eliminate, we feel would eliminate the parking attendants when you go in to pay the daily fee, but it would also take, we'd have to take a really good look at our beach sticker policies and the way we do beach stickers now, because if we put parking kiosks down there, it's going to change the whole way we operate. So before we make any decisions on actually going forward with parking kiosks, we've got to make sure that it makes financial sense for the town and for our department. So
then, talk to me about what you envision the process. So
I wish I knew.
Well, no, because we have a commission here.
Yep.
So at what point do we weigh in on the kiosk, and more particularly, you mentioned here the master plan recommendations, but we're not going to see the master plan from BL Company until next month.
Correct.
So
yep, and unfortunately,
isn't that the cart before the horse?
Well, I don't foresee you guys saying to the master plan, we're not going to accept it. So I think that we're all going to agree on which plans to move forward with on the master plan. I think to me, it's very obvious which plans of the big 15 should move forward.
Hopefully, because there's definitely things on there that, to me and a couple people I've spoken with, don't seem to make sense. The number of dog parks. We go from none to however many. So stuff like that.
Yep. So they're gonna present that to you guys for adoption next month. They did submit a draft copy to Galen, myself, and Doug last week. We met with BL companies here in this room a few days later because we weren't pleased with some of the things in the plan. So they are going back and finalizing things, which is why it's not coming before you tonight, and it's going to be next month. We just weren't pleased with the way it looked. Like I said, they gave us 15 maps. There were a few that we liked. Mm-hmm. So, and I can't justify going before any other board saying, hey, you know, we spent all this money on a plan and we only like 2 plans or 3 plans. That, to me, doesn't make any sense.
Agreed. And looking at the maps individually, I think we can all say, oh, this looks pretty good,
yep.
This is pretty good. But if you put them all together,
exactly.
Now, a lot of it doesn't make sense.
Yes, that 100%, and that's the conversation that Galen and I had with them. So again, I'm confident in what they're going to present, because I wouldn't say, okay, yep, give us the final copy if we weren't happy with it. Okay. So, you know, and again, some of those plans, a lot of that stuff's we're going to be able to put in our operating budget. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit on some of the, you know, on a lot of the locations. I mean, again, playgrounds, ADA compliance, things of that nature. We can pick out a whole bunch of things and say, okay, we're going to attack these 5 parks or, you know, these couple features, you know, over the next few years. It's the big overhauls of some of the facilities that we're going to say, okay, you know what, that one we want to, might be an $8 million project or a $7 million project. Those are the ones that, you know, we've got to get on before this capital planning workshop and have them say, okay, yep, that's a viable project. Let's put it on the plan, you know, 4 years from now. And then, you know, we'll maybe entertain another one 3 or 4 years after that. But that's where those are going to have to go. So back to the parking kiosks, the way that those are being envisioned is very much like the train station right now. So you buy there's an app, you buy your season pass, so you would go on, buy your season pass for the beach, and when the police drive through, they've got the license plate readers that read that, yep, you either have a pass or you don't. And it would be the same for the daily passes. Now, I don't know if that's going to be, I don't know if they want to do that, if we want to do that hourly or if we want to do that daily. Right now, it's a daily fee. You go and you pay $40 during the week, you're good for the whole day. You can leave, come back, do whatever you want. But now that you have a kiosk, you know, do you want to go to an hourly? Does it make more sense to charge X amount per hour? Maybe it equals the $40, or maybe it exceeds that, or whatever. So somebody only wants to go for an hour for lunch, you know, are they going to spend $40? So those are the types of things that we've got to be able to work through at some point.
Is there a gate with the kiosk?
So Norwalk switched to this process a few years ago. They had a gate, and it backed up traffic. So they eliminated the gate, and they actually put an attendant back at the gate who basically just sits there and makes sure that the people slow down and the light turns green for them to go through. Westport went to a similar system, but I think that they've gone back to the old system because they had the traffic at Compo, and it just didn't work for them. We're way more complicated in beach stickers than a lot of the other towns, because our beach stickers are also good for the transfer station. So we've got to be able to, I mean, again, not very hard, I don't think, to put a license plate reader on the transfer station. Maybe they can eliminate that person. Again, not my area of expertise, so I don't really know how they operate 100%, but that's something we have to take into consideration. We've got 5 or 6 different types of passes. You know, if you're a employee, you know, a non-resident employee, you get a certain rate, you get a certain sticker that only lets you into certain areas. If you are a non-resident, obviously you get a non-resident pass. If you have a boat in the marina, you get an M sticker. Well, how do we do that? If you live down near the beach, you get a free Penfield sticker if you want, or any resident can get a free Penfield sticker that allows you to park on the beach. So again, how do we do that? These would be, you know, everything south of the post road is, for the most part, permit parking only, which means you have to have a beach sticker. Again, we can set the geofences on these license plate readers, but again, it's a police officer that's got to patrol it and make sure that everybody's got a sticker. So there's a lot of stuff that has to be worked out. So it's not like...
Unlike a train where everyone gets, not everyone, but a large percentage get there in the morning and the car is there.
Exactly.
So if it, you know, the police come in at 11 o'clock, they're going to get most of the parkers, the beach.
Right. So, no, exactly. Definitely not the same animal. it's a much larger conversation, but I've got to put, for the funding aspect of it, I've got to put it on their radar. Otherwise, it'll never be on the radar.
What's the impetus for doing this, rather than just have a bunch of high school and college kids? It's obviously not a cost-saving measure if you've got police up and down monitoring all the beaches.
Yeah, but we've got the police there now. They drive through and give the $200 ticket.
You're going to have a dedicated, probably 2 dedicated police officers going back and forth all day long.
It would be part of,
we're on an honor system then, right, in that case. So obviously.
But it does streamline, so I view the positives here.
Let me finish my point, though, please. So if the police, for example, target 15 cars that day, who gets that revenue?
The police. The police get the revenue when
we're losing on that.
But that's how it is now. It's the exact same now. When they go through and write a $200 ticket, they're getting the revenue.
But we don't have people coming in, busting through the gate because we have an attendant there.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many get through.
Really?
Or they put the wrong sticker on the wrong car, or they happen to create a sticker.
Or they happen to be texting and let the car just go in, or it's their friend, or it's their
Or
whoever.
they give you a little pass to get in that's not really paying.
The positive here, though, is from like a resident's perspective, I think this streamlines a lot of the process. I'll be honest, I think it's a little bit of a hassle. It's not a huge hassle, but it's a little bit of an inconvenience. I think
You can order it online.
in the current system. Yeah, but I got to remember my license plate.
It's in the system.
No, it's not, because I got a new license plate.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to
and then you got to come in, yeah.
So anyway, I do think there's benefits to this and just streamlining it. I think it might be more attractive getting more people in there. I think you're absolutely right. There's a lot of issues to work out, but I think look, we should encourage technology to stick to that.
Great.
I don't know how long we're going to use the beach sticker system, but I'm willing to bet it's a few decades.
Yeah, at least. So anyway, that is where we stand on that. It might be worthwhile, I know, create another subcommittee, but it might be worth creating a subcommittee for like the beach sticker review or something. I don't know. The AED subcommittee, I thought did a fantastic job.
I knew that.
I thought they did a fantastic job with an excellent report. I don't know if they want to work with Galen on another project, but this would be.
That was one of the.
It was impressive, right?
It was the finest report that we've ever had from a subcommittee.
It really was.
He wrote it.
I know.
It was fantastic. I looked at it like, wow.
Subcommittee effort.
Yeah. We talked about whether we would, put that on the agenda tonight, but with number of people missing and number of people not here,
that was a smooth sailing subcommittee.
Yeah.
I really show up.
Around.
Okay, so you had questions, other questions.
Well, the main question directly from the report was the master plan recommendations and the kiosk. But 2 separate other subjects. You weren't here. There was a lot of conversation about the Ludlow Middle School. Obviously, there was a lot of emails. Ludlow Middle School being turfed and used for baseball. And I've since gotten a couple emails from people saying what's going on, people who've spoken to you, former RTM members who then, reached out to me, and I haven't added anything to that. But so have we received the information back from the company?
So I don't have it in an actual design yet, but I have seen the design. They met with me. I was actually with them at the tennis courts today because they're doing the designs for the tennis courts and the pickleball renovations as well. They were able to fit a full-size baseball field, 340 down each line, right field, left field. 340 and 360 in center field for baseball. The mound could still be a dirt mound, which is what we would want our clay mound, off the actual multi-purpose field. So it's kind of an ideal situation. It would also overlay a girls' softball field, or potentially a boys little league field or a girls little league field because they all play on the same size field, but you'd be able to do that on the opposite side, kind of where the ropes course is, hitting back. So both diamonds can fit. You can still fit a full soccer field, overlaid with a full lacrosse field, overlaid with a full football field, field hockey. All the lines that we had asked for, they can fit. So that's the good news.
And the multi-purpose soccer, lacrosse, everything would be in the outfield.
In the outfield.
So baseball would shut down everything else.
Correct. So
how about a little?
You'd only be able to play one thing at a time.
Even the smaller field.
Yep. Not to say you couldn't play. I mean, you could definitely play. Have a soccer game going on, and then if you wanted to use like the left field line of the baseball field and do a small-sided something, a little soccer game or a clinic or something like that, you could definitely do that. But you wouldn't be able to do another organized game over there. So you couldn't do baseball and softball at the same time. You wouldn't be able to do football and baseball or football and softball. So, which is pretty much what it is. Which is pretty much what it is now.
Okay, but when we spoke before last month, the idea was to potentially do all that. However, it was not going to be used for any varsity games. It would be a practice facility and or a JV freshman.
Correct.
Is that still the case, or
that's still the case.
Okay.
There was never any money put in the budget to put in, grandstand bleachers or a press box or anything like that. So, will there be room to put stands on the side, like kind of where the carports are, overlooking the current field? Yes, there will be space that you could maybe put a small set of bleachers, kind of like we have at some of the other fields, 3 or 4.
Not much.
Right. No, exactly. On the first base side, with your back to 95. Yes, there's going to be space that you could do that. But we will potentially be able to do that if the school wanted to put bleachers there, or we wanted to purchase bleachers at some point. Could varsity play a game there? By all means, if we could fit the field there, like I said, and it looks like we can, and they wanted to play a game there, yeah, they definitely will be able to. But it wouldn't be not my recommendation right now, and we don't have the money to put physical dugouts in on each side. So will it be just a bench behind a fence? Most likely, that's what you're going to get there.
So the limiting factor now is not size; it's budgetary item.
Right now it's going to be budgetary, and then it'll end up coming down to it'll come down to schedule, right? Because this is the way I was explaining to Galen, who does all our scheduling. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, there's soccer games that take place on Ludlow Middle School in the spring. I think it's girls soccer that plays there. Could be wrong. They play there in the spring, and the boys baseball team plays at Kiwanis. Now, if we take the boys baseball team from Kiwanis and we put them at Ludlow, we've now just displaced a soccer team who we can't put them down a baseball field. So we didn't gain any space by moving the boys baseball team there. Doesn't mean they can't play a couple games there, or it gets scheduled differently. Rather than both of those games now, where they currently probably start at around 3:30, maybe one starting at 3:30 and the next one, because we'll have light, starts directly after that. But now that has a domino effect on the rec programming or any of the other after-school stuff that takes place. So,
but if it's a budget item, I could easily see some well-heeled parents of Ludlow baseball players say, "Let's start a fundraiser." So
yep.
I think we have to be aware that could happen.
That could happen. That definitely could happen. The understanding that we went forward with when I presented all this was going to be a multi-purpose facility. There wasn't any mention of the baseball field. When they started asking about the baseball field, I had said, we will see. If we can fit a baseball field, we'll put it there. Again, I never envisioned this as, hey, we're building a varsity baseball stadium for the Fairfield Ludlow baseball team. I've already had ward parents reaching out to me saying, hey, well, when are we getting our stadium? So I had to explain to them that that's not what this was intended to be. Could it be used? Potentially, it could potentially be used.
We have state champions to cover.
I get it. But again, the whole point was not to spend all the town funding on a facility for the high school. We still want to have access to it as of 5 o'clock, 5:30, like we currently do.
Right.
We didn't want to lose space like that. That can't be lost in this.
That's sort of teeing up my question, and I don't ask my question to make a judgment one way or the other. It's just kind of how I feel about all these things in general. Is what I worry about with the baseball field in this particular situation. It seems like it's doing what we've done in this town for years, which is like, let's throw another baseball field somewhere. And what I constantly want, maybe it makes 100% complete sense to have a baseball field there. I'm not making a judgment on that. But what I'm constantly wondering is, are we making the best use of our existing space? In other words, do we have property where we have two baseball fields that are like kind of facing each other, where if you put them in a clover formation, all of a sudden you have 4 baseball fields, and we can have a dedicated like baseball complex as opposed to having to share space with all of these different things. And so, like I said, not making a particular judgment about that, but that's just what I always kind of am thinking with all the master plan stuff as well.
I agree with you 100% that is something that we need to look at.
And Anthony, following up on that point, related to the a full-size baseball field at Roger Ludlow, if that is indeed what happens there, I think down the road you're probably going to have to answer questions like, why don't we have dugouts? Where are the stands? So I think we want to wade cautiously into what goes at Roger Ludlow, because I think if we're going to do a baseball field, we should do it the right way, with proper dugouts and with stands and stuff. So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I think we should, I
agree wholeheartedly with you. I agree 100%.
Where does JV and freshman practice now?
For Ludlow?
Yeah.
They typically will go over to Owen Fish.
Yeah.
They bus to the other side of town. We only have 4 full-size diamonds in town.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Kiwanis, which is down near Pine Creek, Owen Fish, Ward Baseball, and Lower Tungus. So realistically, three of them are on the other side of town.
Yeah.
There's only one on this side of town. No.
There's really no space to put them over here. Huh?
That's the issue.
Another subject that came up, and unfortunately Bill's not here with us tonight, but he was asking about the condition of the football field, saying that some of the
those should be fixed already.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
He's saying that some of the infields are rocks, and but there was a focus on that.
I sent the guys out there for 1 week, and I believe that they fixed them all. The only issue I'm aware of, I believe, still is the outfield at Dwight. I think that's still a little murky.
Okay. Well,
but no, the other infields were fixed. Veterans was fixed. Owens was fixed.
I can corroborate that too, because I've played on the fields all season. So early on they were pretty bad, and at the end of the year they were in great shape. So thanks, Anthony.
Yep. You got it.
I promise, Bill. Or bring it up yourself.
Not a problem.
So, any other questions?
Can I was just because I was just at Tomlinson.
When are the lights going to go on?
I know it's FYF that's doing it, but
it's up to them.
We
didn't set it, so we never set a certain. You could only turn them on as of October 1. I don't think we put a date.
The permanent lights.
We don't have permanent lights.
Didn't we approve permanent lights for that? Yeah.
Not at Tomlinson. Temporary lights, all we approved there.
Really? I swear we approved permanent lights.
The neighbors would never let that get through.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that conversation.
Yeah, we have temporary lights that we let them use.
And we still have a hard cutoff at 8 o'clock.
I believe it's 8 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But I don't think we put a date on the first time they can turn them on.
Right.
No. I really, for some reason, thought we approved permanent lights.
No, we approved the scoreboard, which is up.
Maybe that's what's confusing.
That I saw. That looks
The
beautiful.
scoreboard's up, yeah.
I haven't seen it in operation yet. I haven't had time, but
I maybe.
Anthony, can I ask one question?
sure.
And this is Jen Kennelly. Sorry, I got on a little bit late. But what is the timing for the field? One, and then two, but just because I would like to give this as part of my Parks and Rec report to the Board of Ed. Am I correct, though, that we should be able to pull freshmen and JV back to the high school for practice?
It's going to come down to scheduling, Jen, as far as the JV and freshmen go. Theoretically, yes, we could fit a baseball field there, so they would be able to play their either games or practice there. But you're not going to be able to do baseball and soccer at the same time, or softball and baseball at the same time.
And what's the soccer that's competing?
High school?
But there's no high school soccer in the spring.
No.
Okay. I'd
sure
have to look to see. I'd have to ask Todd what he puts there, because he puts something on there every day. It's definitely not baseball now.
Okay, so I won't be quite so definitive when I report on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just don't know off the top of my head what he schedules there, but I do know he uses it every day.
Okay, and then the timing of the field?
It's sitting with purchasing right now, so he told me that he's probably at least 2 weeks away from bidding it.
Got it.
So
okay.
if that holds true, we'll be out to bid in 2 weeks for construction.
Good luck.
It's not ideal. Obviously, I wanted to break ground already, but purchasing can only move as fast as they can move.
Right.
So.
All right, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
So, do we have any other questions for Anthony on his report? And Jen,
yeah.
Taking it out of order, but do you have a Board of Ed report that you want to share?
Sure. And I apologize for being so late. I got this mixed. Our Board of Ed meetings always start at 7:30, and I just glitched. So I got on at 7:25. So right in the middle of Anthony's report. But for Board of Ed, just two main things. That we did also have a presentation with the Capital Waterfall that we're talking about. And obviously we've got some pretty high-level big decisions to make when it comes to HVAC, air conditioning in the buildings, and which can impact summer programming and then just school. And then also taking a look at the various building needs and how that could potentially be impacting redistricting. And the second item is that we did have our athletics presentation at our last meeting, and nothing particularly of note. I don't know if anybody watched that part of our meeting, but we get an annual athletics presentation, part of the goal of which is to give us a sense early on of what the needs are of our athletic department. And they didn't have a whole lot for us. So now, granted, Ward is new AD, had only been about 5 weeks or so on the job, but so we're still a little bit uncertain on what's going to be coming to us, athletically speaking, in the January budget. And that's it.
Thank you.
Any questions? All right. And does anyone have anything that they want to discuss for the good of the order? Hearing nothing, then we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Take care all.